The following video is for educational purposes only, based on publicly available information. It is not legal advice, and all opinions expressed are our own. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to Employment Case Files. Today, we're analyzing another concluded employment case to uncover useful insights for HR professionals and organizations. Our goal is to learn from real court decisions and help HR teams prevent similar disputes in the workplace. In this episode, we're reviewing the case of Highlands Water Company Limited versus Purity Wambui Muriithi, a matter that began as an employee injury compensation claim and evolved into a legal question about who should pay the costs after appeal. Let's explore what happened, what the court decided, and the lessons HR can draw from it. Purity Wambui Muriithi worked for Highlands Water Company Limited when she was injured while performing her duties. She sued the company in the lower court, seeking damages for the injuries she suffered at work. The trial court ruled in Purity's favor and awarded her compensation. Highlands Water Company, however, was dissatisfied with that judgment and appealed, arguing that the magistrate had erred both in law and in assessing damages. On the 27th of June 2014, the High Court, through Justice Wakiaga, allowed the appeal, meaning the company succeeded in overturning the trial court's decision. However, despite winning, the judge awarded costs of the appeal to Purity, the respondent, instead of the employer. This created confusion and sparked a new dispute about who should bear those costs. Purity's lawyer maintained that even though the appeal succeeded, the respondent had still been awarded some damages and therefore had not completely lost, making it fair for her to keep the costs. Through its counsel, Mr. Karomo Paul Ngigi, the company filed a motion on the 17th of March 2015, asking the High Court to review the judgment, claiming there was an error apparent on the face of the record. The company argued that, as the successful party, it should have received the costs, not the employee. The employer waited nearly 8 months to act, instead of promptly seeking clarification after judgment. Acting immediately could have allowed a quick correction or even an amicable resolution. On the other hand, the employee could have discussed settlement rather than prolonging litigation over procedural costs. The employer filed an affidavit from its advocate arguing the cost award was a clear legal mistake. The employee responded that there was no error and that her partial success justified receiving costs. The judge's key observations. Section 27. One of the Civil Procedure Act grants courts full discretion to determine who bears the costs of a case. Generally, costs follow the event, meaning the winning party is awarded costs, unless the court finds good reason to depart from this principle. In this instance, it was unclear whether Justice Wakiaga's award of costs to the respondent reflected an error or a deliberate exercise of that discretion. The 8-month delay in filing the review was inordinate and went unexplained. Importantly, if a party believes the court has wrongly exercised its discretion, the appropriate remedy is to appeal rather than to seek a review. The court concluded there was no error apparent on the record and that the application was filed too late. The judge therefore dismissed the employer's motion with costs, leaving the original cost order in the employee's favor intact. Organizations should make it a priority to establish clear and well-documented legal and disciplinary procedures that define how appeals, reviews, and cost awards are handled. Every court decision should be reviewed promptly by both the HR and legal departments to determine whether further action is necessary. Communication with counsel should always be formal and recorded to ensure accountability. Timely responses to judgments or potential errors prevent unnecessary financial losses. Management should also promote fairness and early resolution by encouraging internal dialogue or settlement before disputes escalate. Regular training of HR and management teams on legal compliance and the costs follow the event principle will help organizations remain proactive and minimize litigation exposure. Highlands Water Company should have acted swiftly after judgment. Legal and HR teams must monitor appeal outcomes closely to respond before statutory or procedural delays weaken their position. Employees must appreciate that even partial victories or findings in their favor can influence how costs are shared. They should cooperate with the legal process and maintain professionalism. Employers must maintain precise court records, communicate with counsel immediately after rulings, and document all actions taken. Proper communication between HR, finance, and legal teams ensures deadlines are not missed. HR departments should institute post-judgment review procedures that include immediate legal consultation and written evaluation of outcomes to decide on the next course of action, whether appeal, compliance, or settlement. For HR professionals, this case underscores that timeliness and proper procedure are as critical as the merits of any case. Every organization must act within legal timelines, maintain full documentation, and coordinate efficiently with its legal advisors. Courts weigh both substance and process, and failing to meet procedural requirements can turn a winning case into a costly loss. HR leaders should remember that judicial discretion over costs means nothing is automatic. Fairness and diligence must be demonstrated at every stage. Ultimately, consistent record-keeping, legal awareness, and proactive communication are essential tools for protecting both the organization and its employees. To summarize, this case highlights how legal success can still lead to financial loss when timelines and procedural requirements are ignored. Highlands Water Company's delay and misunderstanding of court discretion cost it the benefit of its own victory. For HR teams, it's a reminder that due process, documentation, and prompt legal action are indispensable in managing employment disputes. What's your take on this case? Do you think winning parties should always get their costs automatically, or should judges have the final say? Share your views in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more HR insights and employment law breakdowns.